You didn't expect me to be in the kitchen this early, did you, baby? That voice, deep, rich, confident, whispered right behind me as strong hands wrapped around my waist. I gasped, body arching, heat pooling between my legs. But the spell shattered instantly. I heard my husband's voice, sharp and angry, calling from the front door. Melissa? What the hell is going on in here? That was the moment. The moment my two worlds collided. And now, if I take you back a week, maybe you'll understand how I ended up here. My name is Melissa Hartley. I'm 38, been married for 14 years, and I live in a nice, quiet neighborhood in North Carolina. We've got a 2-story house with white shutters, a small garden I never tend to, and a husband who's gone more than he's here. My husband, Andrew, is a business consultant. He travels almost every other week. Chicago, Houston, Seattle, wherever the company needs him, he goes. He says it's for our future. But lately, I've felt like I'm barely part of that future. Nights got long, bed got cold, and I stopped recognizing myself in the mirror. But that changed when Marcus moved in next door. Marcus Johnson. Tall, black, built like a linebacker but with a poet smile. I first saw him when he was shirtless, unloading boxes into his new garage. Sweat rolled down his back, catching the sun. My breath caught in my throat before I even realized I was staring. At first, it was harmless. I'd peek from behind my curtain when he mowed the lawn. He'd wave sometimes. I'd smile, pretend I wasn't watching, then feel this tingle that I hadn't felt in years. Andrew noticed him once and joked, "Our new neighbor looks like he bench presses Buicks." I laughed, but I kept the truth to myself. One afternoon, I was watering the front yard when Marcus walked by shirtless, holding a rake. "Afternoon, ma'am," he said, his voice smooth like honey dripping from a warm spoon. "You don't have to call me ma'am," I said, half laughing. "Melissa is fine." He smiled, eyes lingering just a moment too long. "Melissa, then?" Just a few seconds. Just a glance. But something passed between us. A few days later, Andrew left for Houston, another urgent trip. Same script, different city. "I'll call every night," he said. "Sure," I replied. That night, I sat on the couch with a glass of wine, scrolling through nothing on TV. The house was dead silent. My robe hung loosely over my body. The loneliness settled in my bones like winter chill. Then a knock at the door. Soft, rhythmic. I peeked through the window, Marcus, holding a small plate with what looked like cookies. "Baked too many," he said with a grin when I opened the door. "Thought you might want some." "Oh, sure. Come in," I said without thinking. He stepped inside. He smelled like musk and fresh soap. I felt underdressed. I felt alive. We sat in the kitchen, talking over cookies and wine. He told me about his job, personal trainer at a gym downtown. I told him about my boring freelance writing work and how Andrew travels a lot. "I noticed," he said quietly. I swallowed hard. "What do you mean?" I asked. "You seem alone." I didn't answer. I just looked at him. He was so close. I could see a scar on his bottom lip. His thighs stretched the fabric of his shorts. "Thanks for the cookies," I said, standing up. He stood too. Slowly. "Maybe I'll bring coffee next time," he said, voice low. "Maybe I'll say yes," I whispered. The next morning, I woke up earlier than usual, took a shower, curled my hair, put on a sundress that hugged me in all the right places. I told myself it was just to feel good. But when Marcus knocked at noon with 2 takeout coffee cups, I knew I was lying. We sat in the kitchen again, laughing too much, sharing little stories about nothing. His eyes drifted to my chest more than once. "I haven't laughed like this in years," I said. "That's a damn shame," he said, gently placing his hand over mine. It stayed there. I didn't move it. "Marcus," I whispered, "this is dangerous." "Only if you want it to be." I didn't answer, but my eyes said everything. He leaned forward, lips brushing against mine, light as a feather. I didn't pull back. I kissed him harder. The coffee cups fell to the floor. The robe slid from my shoulders. His body pressed into mine like I was something he'd been craving. Right there on the kitchen counter, He made me feel more woman than I had in years. Afterward, we sat on the couch, both breathless. He kissed my shoulder. "You okay?" "I should say I regret it," I whispered. "But I don't." "Me either," he replied. As he left through the back door, I caught my reflection in the mirror above the mantel. My lips were swollen, my eyes wild. I didn't look like Melissa the housewife anymore. I looked like someone who had tasted freedom and wanted more. If you're caught up in this forbidden heat, don't forget to like and subscribe for more intense, true-to-heart tales like this one. I stood in front of my closet longer than I should have, staring at myself in the mirror. My hand hovered over a blue sundress, then shifted to a softer, thinner tank top and yoga pants. Why did I care so much about what I wore that day? Because I knew Marcus was coming. It had been 2 days since we first crossed that line. 2 days since I had let him take me on the kitchen counter while my husband was in Houston talking spreadsheets and strategy. I should have felt more guilty than I did, but I didn't. I felt wanted. I felt powerful. I felt real. I chose the tank top. No bra. Just enough to say I was still casual, but not cold. At noon, right on cue, there was a knock at the back door. I didn't rush. I walked slowly, letting the soft sway of my hips answer for me. Marcus stood there with 2 cold drinks from a smoothie bar and that same bold grin. "Felt like you need something cool today," he said. "It's already 80 out." "Come in," I said softly. The second the door closed behind him, we both knew why he was really there. But we didn't go straight to the couch this time. We talked first. We sat at the dining table like 2 old friends, me sipping my smoothie, him watching my lips, eyes trailing down to my collarbone. "You look good today," he said. "You've already seen me naked," I teased. He smirked. "Doesn't mean I don't enjoy the lead-up." That was Marcus. Confident, slow, deliberate. He never rushed. He studied me like I was the only woman left in the world. He told me about his ex back in Georgia, how she left him after 2 years for a banker. I told him about Andrew, how he stopped touching me unless it was routine, like folding laundry. Sometimes, I said, voice low, I feel like I don't even exist in my own marriage. He reached across the table, sliding his fingers between mine. "You exist to me." I don't know what it was about that line. Maybe because he said it like it was sacred. But I leaned across the table and kissed him, slow and deep. This time, we didn't rush. He led me upstairs, to my bedroom, to the bed I shared with my husband. Laying on those white sheets, under the soft ceiling fan breeze, Marcus touched me like he was reading my skin word by word. It wasn't just lust. It was something else. Something dangerous. He whispered into my ear, told me how beautiful I was, how tight I felt, how good I tasted. I soaked it in like sunshine. And when we finished, he didn't pull away. He laid beside me, tracing circles on my stomach. "This feels right," he whispered. I didn't answer, because part of me wanted to say yes. After he left, I didn't feel guilty. I made myself a sandwich, watched a cooking show, and let my phone buzz when Andrew texted, "Boarding now. Talk tonight." That night, Marcus texted me. "You good?" "Yeah." "Too good." "Want me again tomorrow?" "Yes." That's how it began. Every other day, Marcus came over while Andrew was away. Sometimes, we made it to the bedroom. Sometimes, it was the hallway. Once, it was the laundry room, the dryer humming while he kissed the inside of my thighs. He made me feel like a prize. Not a chore. Not a routine. He praised parts of me Andrew never noticed. My stretch marks. My thighs. Even the way I laughed when I was nervous. One afternoon, I was bent over the kitchen island, Marcus behind me, his grip on my hips, when the front door creaked. I panicked. But it was just the wind. Or maybe the universe warning me. Still, it didn't stop me. That same night, I walked Marcus out through the backyard gate. But as I turned, I saw someone across the street. Mrs. Hall, our nosy neighbor, standing by her mailbox. Her eyes squinted. Watching. I waved awkwardly. She didn't wave back. I told myself it was just coincidence. That evening, Andrew FaceTimed me. "Hey, babe," he said, his hair messy from travel. "Flight tomorrow got canceled." but I found another one. I'll be home a day early. My heart stopped for a second.
Wow.
That's great, I said, forcing cheer into my voice. But panic settled in my chest. I had one day to clean everything.
Sheets. Clothes.
Even my body. I felt like I needed to wash Marcus off me, but I didn't want to. I went to bed early, alone. But then Marcus texted, "Need to see you. Just one more time before your man gets back. Come at dawn. He lands at 9. The next morning, he came just after sunrise. We didn't speak much. We kissed like two people starving for one last taste. In the kitchen. Again. The way his hands moved, the way he lifted me onto the counter, the soft sounds of morning birds through the open window, it all felt surreal. It was quick, desperate, beautiful. I clung to him as he finished, whispering his name under my breath. We stayed like that for a moment. Then I pushed him back gently.
Go, I said.
Before it's too late. He nodded, kissing me once more, then headed toward the back door shirtless, wiping sweat from his chest. I turned back to the counter, trying to straighten my robe, heart still racing. And then, the front door opened. Keys jingled. Footsteps. And Andrew's voice rang through the house. "Melissa? What the hell is going on in here?" I froze. My robe was half open, my legs still trembling, and the scent of Marcus lingered in the kitchen air like a guilty perfume. Andrew stood there, suitcase by his feet, wide-eyed like he couldn't believe what he was seeing. His mouth opened, but no words came out at first. Just shock. Confusion. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't even move. Marcus was still in the house. Then Andrew's voice dropped low. Sharp. "Who the hell is here with you, Melissa?" I swallowed hard. I didn't answer. That was answer enough. Before I could even pull myself together, Marcus walked back through the hallway, still buttoning his shirt. And just like that, Andrew's eyes went dark. He stepped forward, rage boiling off of him. "You've got to be king kidding me," he growled. "You," he pointed at Marcus, voice cracking. "You're the neighbor?" Marcus tried to stay calm. "Andrew, listen." "No, don't you dare say my name," Andrew shouted. "You've been sleeping with my wife. In my house." I stepped between them. "Stop. Both of you, just stop." Andrew stared at me like I was a stranger. Like I was filth. "How long?" he asked, his voice low but venomous. "Andrew."
How long?
I took a shaky breath. "A week." He flinched, like the words slapped him. His jaw tightened. His eyes welled with disbelief. "In our bed?" he asked. I nodded. "Just once." I didn't even try to lie. He turned to Marcus. "Get out before I do something we both regret." Marcus held up his hands and stepped backward, disappearing out the back door without another word. The moment he was gone, the silence in the kitchen was deafening. Andrew didn't look at me for a long time. He just stood there, fists clenched, trying to control himself. "You didn't even wait a week," he muttered. I reached out. "Andrew, please." He jerked away. "Don't touch me." I didn't plan for this to happen.
No?
What did you plan, Melissa? Yoga pants and smoothies every time I left town? My throat tightened. "You haven't touched me in months. I've felt invisible."
He scoffed.
"So you screwed the first guy who made you feel seen? You let him do that to you right here? In my kitchen?" Tears burned in my eyes. "I was lonely, Andrew. You're always gone. You barely look at me anymore. And that gives you a reason to cheat?" he snapped. "To bring some guy into our home? I didn't mean for it to go this far. But you let it." He turned away from me and slammed his fist into the kitchen counter. The noise made me jump. Then he walked toward the door. "Where are you going?" I asked, voice shaking. "Out," he said. "Far away from this. I need to think." He grabbed his keys and slammed the front door behind him. And just like that, I was alone, standing barefoot in the kitchen, where it had all begun. That night, he didn't come back. He didn't text, didn't call. I sat on the edge of our bed, staring at the dent his head used to make in the pillow. I didn't cry. I just stayed still. I kept thinking of the look on his face. Not the anger, but the hurt. I had put it there.
Me.
And the worst part? Some sick part of me didn't regret what Marcus made me feel. The next day, I tried calling. No answer. I called again. He finally picked up.
Don't, he said.
I'm not ready, but we have to talk. I don't even know who you are right now, he said. I just need time. The line went dead. 3 days passed. No word. No Marcus either. He hadn't texted. Hadn't stopped by. I figured he was laying low, or too ashamed, or both. Then on the 4th day, Andrew came back. But not alone. He brought his brother to help him pack. My heart dropped when I saw the duffel bags. Are you leaving me? I asked. Andrew didn't look at me. His brother shot me a glare like I was poison. I just need space, Andrew said. This house, it's full of lies now. I can't sleep under the same roof as you. So you're leaving? For now.
He paused.
I'll call when I'm ready to talk for real. And then he was gone again. It had been 19 days. 19 days since Andrew walked out of our home with bags and pain. 19 days since I last heard his voice. 19 days of silence, so loud it nearly broke me. Each morning, I woke up and reached for a body that wasn't there. Each night, I stared at a wall of regret. The scent of Marcus had long faded, but the shame hadn't. I'd made a mess of everything, and now I was left with the wreckage. The neighborhood avoided me like I was contagious. Nobody waved. Even the mailman barely made eye contact. And Marcus, he was nowhere to be found. His blinds were always drawn. His truck gone. I knew what that meant. He was hiding too. One afternoon, I stood by my kitchen window, the same place I'd once flirted like a fool, and stared across the fence line. I saw his porch light flicker on, and for a second I thought about going over. But I didn't. I just stood there, remembering everything. His hands, his voice, his body pressed against mine on this very counter. And I hated that even now a part of me still felt the pull. But I wasn't going to make another mistake. I needed to face my mess, not bury it in another man's arms. 3 more days passed before Marcus showed up at my door. He didn't knock, just stood there, waiting. When I opened the door, he looked different, ashamed. Can we talk? He asked. I stepped aside. He walked in slowly, like the house might explode. I haven't seen you, I said quietly. Figured it was best to disappear, he replied.
His voice was low.
I didn't mean for it to happen like that. I never wanted to hurt your husband. I looked at him hard. You did more than hurt him, Marcus. You helped me destroy him. He looked down. I know. Silence filled the room, thick like storm clouds. Then I asked the question I'd been avoiding. Was it just sex for you? He looked up.
No.
I liked you, Melissa. I still do. I shook my head. It doesn't matter anymore. We crossed a line, and it ruined everything. I know, he said again, but I wanted to say sorry. For real. I nodded. Thank you. But sorry doesn't fix it. He stepped forward gently. You're not alone, you know. If he never comes back. I raised my hand. Don't. My voice was firm. This isn't a second chance for us. This is closure. Marcus nodded slowly. Then he turned and left for the last time. I stood at the front door long after he was gone, wondering if I'd finally done something right, even if it felt like hell. 2 more weeks passed. No texts.
No calls.
Then one evening, I heard the front door open. I rushed to the hallway, and there he was. Andrew. He looked thinner, tired, but still mine. My heart beat wildly in my chest. Hi, I said, barely above a whisper. Hey, he replied, voice tight. He walked in and sat on the couch. I followed. It felt like sitting with a ghost. I wasn't sure you'd come back, I admitted. I wasn't sure either, he said. But I needed answers. And you're the only one who can give them to me. So we talked. And for the first time in years, it was raw.
Honest.
Painful. I told him everything. How it started. How I felt unseen, unwanted. How Marcus made me feel alive again. And how that had nothing to do with love and everything to do with loneliness. He listened.
Silent.
No shouting. just eyes full of hurt. When I was done, I wiped the tears from my face. I don't expect forgiveness. But I'm sorry, Andrew. I'm so sorry. He nodded, still quiet. Then he finally spoke. I loved you, Melissa. I still do. But I don't trust you anymore. And I don't know how to come back from that. I'll do anything, I said. Therapy.
Counseling.
I'll earn your trust back. He looked at me, his eyes heavy. You already made a choice, Melissa. And that choice had consequences. I took his hand. He didn't pull away. That gave me a little hope. Then he said something I never expected. I'm willing to try. My breath caught. But it's going to take time, he added. A lot of it. And I can't promise I'll be the same man you married. I don't want the same, I said. I want better. For both of us. That night, he didn't stay over. But he didn't leave angry. And when he closed the door behind him, I didn't feel the same crushing emptiness I'd felt for weeks. Because now there was a crack of light. A sliver of something real. Something worth fighting for. Love, betrayal, and the road to redemption. Some stories leave scars. Others leave lessons. If you've been hooked by Melissa's journey, hit like and subscribe for more dramatic tales that hit close to home.